Hi, this is Chalk Arts, and today's video is going to be a little different. Usually, I post funny videos, kind of like Vine type videos of just something funny or goofy, and that's kind of what I really like to do. And the reason I like to do it because me and my siblings used to do it all the time before Vine came out, before TikTok came out, and we've really had a lot of fun, and it kind of reminds me of when I was younger. So, like last night, I was watching the new episode, Steven Universe Future. Yeah, it's gotten interesting. I'm not like a huge fan of the Steven Universe. I just watch it from time to time, and it's kind of nice. It's really good. Well, it wasn't the newest episode. It was like a few episodes before. I'm a little behind, but whatever. But this one scene when Steven went to the doctor, to Connie's mom, and she talks about all the trauma. Oh my god! And they captured it so, like, the animation, it was beautiful, but the way when Steven remembered everything he had been through since he was like a child. Like, since he was a child, he had been through like so much and like life-threatening stuff, and he hadn't really dealt with it. And just the fact that now he has to deal with it because now everything else is being thrown off balance. When I saw that, oh my gosh. Like, it was a huge eye-opener for like me, that like me who has been through a lot since I was a child. Like, even though I was like, I'm kind of happy-go-lucky on my channel. I haven't really posted that many videos, but I'm always kind of like perky. I do have like a kind of a dark side to me, and I had been through a lot. And just seeing that, like, as he was paneling throughout his life, in my mind, I was kind of paneling out like through my life. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I as a human being have been through a lot. Like, I have been through a lot as a human being who haven't really lived that long, have only been on the earth for 18 years. I have been through a lot, and I need to deal with it. And I guess the reason I'm making this video is because I feel like people really need to deal with their problems, too. Like, things they have been through that might have traumatized them. It can be something as little as watching that scene from The Brave Little Toaster where the toaster committed literal toaster suicide to save his friend. But that, it's okay when they're saving friends. Oh, it's complicated. Or maybe something as big as abuse, sexual harassment, sexual assault, a death in the family. Like, this is a really, really big thing to do. Like, we as humans, we need to process everything we've been through so we can, like, how do I put this? So we can move on and, like, react healthily to the new problems that will come on us. And I think one of the problems with today's society is that people aren't really dealing with their problems. They're, like, just wearing them. If you get what I mean. So, like, people, like, they, like, how do I describe this without being offensive? People just go to, my life, this part of my life sucked, and therefore it is now me. Like, they just wear it. Like, yep, this is what happened to me. This is me, and that's who their identity is. Their identity is the problem that they had or the abuse they had. When in reality, that's not supposed to be your identity. You're not supposed to be walking around like, yep, my identity is the abused girl, or my identity is the person who lost a family member. The whole point is that you're supposed to say, this happened in this point of my life, and I will talk about it as much as I need to. I will go to counseling. I will talk about it with a friend. I will cry about it. And then afterward, I will walk forward, and though it may come back, I have already dealt with a large majority of it. And then, if it comes up again, I can deal with it again. But it's not me. And I know this is a whole other rant for a whole other day, but what's really annoying is that people have really bad, like, mental health issues. And some people, mostly, like, on Twitter or on, like, social media in general, they're just like, oh my gosh, it's like my 5th mental breakdown of the day. Like, that's not something to, like, brag about. It's not a competition of who most messed up. If everyone is just competing for this, like, who's the most messed up, who has this, like, I know that some people, like, okay, give me a second. Sorry. I know some people who, like, they, like, I'm so mad this is taking me a long time to say. I know people with like really bad like mental health problems, like PTSD and all this stuff. And then I have other people who like self-diagnose, and maybe they do have a diagnosis, but like, yep, this is me now, and I'm gonna keep on like every single bad like mental health disorder, I'm just gonna put on myself, because I'm just gonna label myself as that, because hey, if I have mental health disorder, it's cool now. It's like, oh, you're part of like the group, or even people use it as just an excuse for their behavior. Like, no, 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 no. You may have a problem, and that is okay, and you may have tendencies, but it doesn't excuse your behavior. You have to take ownership of that as a human being. Like, as I said, it's a whole rant for like a whole other day. But I think it's really important, and to like I was saying before. Okay, let's go back to what I was saying before. Identify something that happened that you feel has like really affected your life, like in a negative way, and talk about it, deal with it, like do what you need to do. Like go to a therapist. Maybe it's something as just like going to a friend, and like someone you can confide in, someone you trust, someone who you know loves you, who will tell you things even when you don't want to hear them. And like they genuinely care about you, and they won't tell anyone else, and they love you for you. And talk to them and maybe deal with them. You know, it just, people as humans, we need help. And I think that's like kind of the gist of what I was saying. And like I guess there's one more point. One more point is like not to like have self-pity when you realize what happened. Like, not to say, wow, this is a bad thing, but don't be like, oh, you know, kind of like I was saying before, don't be like, oh, woe is me, my life is ruined, thou, someone help me, I don't know. But like, do something, you know, like, say this is something that happened. You know what, okay, let me just recap kind of everything. Say this, identify it, like this is a chocolate bar, I'm identifying this as a chocolate bar, chocolate fell, whatever. And say this is the problem, and then say I will now share this problem with someone I trust, someone who loves me, and I will deal with this as long as it takes me, so I can healthily deal with other things that happen, and not to stuff your feelings away, but also not to like identify solely with the problem. I'm not gonna say I'm a chocolate